You're not just checking your phone, you're getting robbed. Every swipe is a small theft, not of money, of time, of focus, of confidence, of your future. And the craziest part, you're holding the thief in your own hand. So let me ask you something that might hurt. When was the last time you sat in silence without reaching for that screen like it was oxygen? When was the last time you tried to work, study, pray, read, or even just think, and your brain didn't scream, check your phone? Because if your hand reaches for it before your mind even decides, that's not convenience. That's control. And today we're exposing the dark truth and breaking the chain. Here's the problem set up. Phone addiction doesn't start with, I want to waste my life. It starts with small moments. Boredom, stress, loneliness, a hard day, a fight, an awkward silence, a tiny discomfort. Your brain learns a shortcut. Feel something uncomfortable? Escape? One tap? One scroll? One hit? You feel relief for a second? And your brain stores that relief like a survival trick. Then it repeats and repeats, repeats, until you don't use the phone anymore. The phone uses you. Not because you're weak, because the system is engineered to keep you hooked. The apps don't get paid when you're happy. They get paid when you stay, when you watch, when you refresh. You can't stop. If you don't build a defense, you become a product. Your attention becomes the currency. Your life becomes the payment. Now listen carefully. The goal is not to quit your phone. You're not moving to a mountain. You're living in the real world. The goal is to take your phone from being your master and turn it back into a tool. A tool a hammer doesn't tell you when to use it. A phone shouldn't either. I'm going to give you a 5-step system that actually works: psychology, strategy, and real-life disciplines, so you can break the addiction without relying on motivation. First step, you must understand the trapped dopamine, novelty, and the slot machine in your pocket. Most people think phone addiction is about being lazy. No, it's about reward. Your brain is wired to chase novelty because novelty used to mean survival, new information, new threats, new opportunities. Social media weaponized that. Every swipe is a maybe. Maybe a funny video, maybe a message, maybe a like, maybe a new post, maybe drama. Maybe is the same psychology used in gambling machines. Not guaranteed. Rewards, variable rewards. And variable rewards are the most addictive kind. That's why you can scroll for an hour and still feel unsatisfied. It's not feeding you. It's chasing you. Here's the common mistake. People try to fix phone addiction with shame. I'm wasting my life. I'm pathetic. I have no discipline. Shame feels intense, but it doesn't change systems. Shame actually makes the addiction worse because shame creates stress. Stress makes you crave escape. And escape is your phone. So you don't need more self-hate. You need more self-awareness. When you understand the mechanism, you stop blaming yourself like you're broken. Start treating it like what it is. Conditioning. A habit loop. Trigger gives craving, gives action, gives reward. Habit loops can be redesigned. Let me give you a metaphor. Your mind is a castle. Your attention is the gate. Your phone is not the enemy by itself. The enemy is leaving the gate open all day and acting surprised when thieves walk in. Notifications are the thieves. Infinite scroll is the tunnel. Autoplay is the trapdoor. Your job is not to fight the thieves with your bare hands every minute. Your job is to build a better gate. Second step, remove the triggers because you don't rise to discipline. You fall to environment. Most people think the battle happens when they feel the urge. Wrong. The battle happens before the urge. The moment your phone is within reach, your brain keeps it in the background like an open tab. Even if you're not using it, it's available. That availability drains your focus. So we add friction, real friction, not I'll try harder. Start with the simplest rule. Notifications are not allowed to ambush you. Turn off non-essential notifications. Social apps, news, random alerts, off. Keep only what is truly urgent. Calls from family, important messages, work if necessary. Because every notification is a hook, a tiny hay, that pulls your mind out of your life. Right. And each time you respond, you train your brain to be interruptible. You become easy to distract. Now add physical friction. Don't keep your phone in your pocket at home. Put it on a table across the room. Better put it in another room during focus time. If you study or work with your phone next to you, you're basically inviting temptation to sit in your lap. And temptation doesn't need to be strong when it's close. Distance is discipline. Repeat that. Distance is discipline. When your phone is far, you have a moment to choose. When it's near, you react. Here's another misconception. I need my phone for productivity. Be honest. Most of the time you don't need it. You need a calculator, a timer, a note app, fine. But you don't need Instagram to study. You don't need TikTok to work. You don't need constant checking to be available. It's just anxiety calling itself responsibility. Third step. Replace the habit, because removing the phone without replacing the relief creates relapse. This is where people fail hard. They delete apps, they go cold turkey, they feel empty, and then they binge scroll worse than before. Why? Because the phone isn't just entertainment, it's emotional medication. It numbs boredom, it numbs stress, it numbs loneliness. So if you remove the phone and keep the same emotions, your brain will look for the fastest substitute, and it will bring the phone back like a toxic ex you keep unblocking. So we replace the behavior with low-friction alternatives. When you feel the urge, you need something else that gives relief without destroying you. Build a short menu of replacements. Not big dramatic habits, small ones. 2 minutes. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. Here are examples that work. Drink water and walk for 2 minutes. Do 10 push-ups. Stretch. Write 3 lines in a journal. What am I feeling? What do I need? What will I do next? Read 1 page of a book. Do breathing. Inhale for seconds. Hold for exhale 6. The goal is not to become a monk. The goal is to teach your brain a new escape route that doesn't hijack your day. Because right now your brain has one emergency exit. Your phone, we're building more exits. Healthier exits. That return you to life instead of stealing it. And here's the identity connection. Every time you resist the urge and choose a better action, you're casting a vote for a new version of yourself. The version that is not controlled by cravings. The version that can sit in silence. The version that can focus. The version that can be bored without breaking. That's real power. Most people can't handle boredom anymore. They treat boredom like a problem. But boredom is not a problem. Boredom is the doorway to deep work, deep thought, deep creativity. The phone slams that doorway shut. 4th step. Build phone boundaries that are specific, because vague rules get murdered by cravings. Saying I'll use my phone less is a lie your brain loves because it means nothing. You need clear rules with clear times. Think of your day like a diet. You don't say I'll eat less. You say I'll eat at these times, these portions. Same with attention. Here are boundaries that work. No phone for the first 30 minutes after waking up. No phone during meals. No phone in the bathroom. No phone in bed. Phone check windows, for example. 10 minutes at 1 p.m. and 10 minutes at 8 p.m. Outside of those windows, the phone stays away. Yes, it feels uncomfortable at first. That discomfort is withdrawal. Withdrawal is proof the addiction existed. Don't run from the discomfort. Use it as evidence that you're finally taking control. Also, stop sleeping with your phone next to your face. Your brain needs a clean shutdown. If your last hour is scrolling and your first hour is scrolling, you're living in a loop of noise. Your mind never resets. Put the phone outside the bedroom if possible. If not, place it far. Use a basic alarm clock if you can. Your bedroom should be a recovery zone, not a dopamine casino. Common mistake. People think boundaries are restriction.
Ow.
Boundaries are freedom.
Boundaries.
Boundaries are what stop your life from being invaded. Without boundaries, your day becomes a public space where any notification can walk in and take your attention hostage. 5th step. Train your focus like a muscle, because attention is the new wealth. Let's go deeper. The real damage of phone addiction is not just time lost, it's focus destroyed. You keep switching from app to app, video to video, message to message. Your brain adapts to short rewards. Deep work starts feeling painful. Reading becomes hard. Studying feels impossible. Even watching a full movie feels too slow. That is scary, because your future requires focus. Skills require focus. Money requires focus. Relationships require focus. Faith requires focus. Health requires focus. Scattered mind becomes a fragile life. So we rebuild focus with short training sessions. Start with 15 minutes a day. Phone in another room. One task. No switching. When you feel the urge, don't immediately obey it. Notice it. Label it. Urge. Then return to the task. That's the rep. That's the workout. Over time, go to 25 minutes. Then 45. Then 60. Use a timer. Can I stay with my task until the timer ends? The goal is to prove to your brain that you are in charge. And here's the trick that changes everything. Don't try to never be distracted. That's unrealistic. Instead, practice returning quickly. Returning is power. Returning is discipline. Returning is how you win. Every time you return, you build a new identity. I'm the type of person who comes back. Not I'm perfect. You don't need perfection. You need recovery speed. Now let's hit the emotional story segment because this needs to land in the heart, not just the mind. There was a guy called him Hamza. He wasn't dumb. He wasn't lazy. He was actually full of potential. He had goals. He wanted to learn a skill, start earning online, get in shape, improve his life. But he had one invisible enemy. Every time he tried to start, he got pulled back into his phone like gravity. He would sit down to study, and suddenly he was scrolling. He'd open YouTube to learn, and somehow ended up watching random videos for 2 hours. He'd tell himself, just 5 minutes. And then it was midnight. He began living in a cycle. Wake up tired, promise to change, waste time, feel guilty, escape guilt by scrolling, sleep late, repeat. And slowly, the worst part happened. He stopped trusting himself. When you break promises to yourself every day, you start believing you're the kind of person who can't change. It's not because you can't, because you've trained yourself to quit without even trying. One evening, his little brother asked him to play outside. Just 10 minutes, Hamza said, later. His brother waited. Hamza kept scrolling. His brother asked again. Hamza got irritated. Not now. His brother walked away quietly. Hours passed. Hamza didn't notice. He was in the tunnel. In that trance where time disappears. Then he heard laughter outside his brother playing with other kids. And for some reason, that sound hit Hamza like a punch, because he realized something simple and brutal. He wasn't just wasting time. He was missing life. The next day, Hamza went to his phone settings and saw the screen time number. It was so high it felt like a joke. He did the math in his head. Hours per day. Multiply by a week. Multiply by a year. It wasn't just a lot. It was months. Months of his life disappearing into a rectangle. Months he could have used to learn, build, pray, train, love, live. And that's when the dark truth revealed itself. The phone wasn't stealing his time. It was stealing his future. That night, he didn't make a dramatic promise. He made a small decision. Put his phone in another room for 1 hour. Just 1 hour. He sat with the discomfort. His mind screamed. His hand twitched. His brain tried to bargain, but he stayed. He studied for 30 minutes, then took a break, then studied again. And when the hour ended, he felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. The next day, he did it again. Then he made mornings phone-free. Then he turned off notifications. Then he replaced scrolling with walking. It wasn't perfect. Sometimes he relapsed. But he returned, and over weeks the addiction started losing its grip. Not because the phone got weaker, because Hamza got stronger, and the twist. The twist was not that his life became magically easy. The twist was that his life became real again. His sleep improved, his anxiety dropped. He started noticing small things, sunlight, silence, conversations. He became present. He started becoming the man he used to imagine, not because of motivation, because he took his attention back. And attention is everything now. Let's lock in the transformation and identity shift for you. When you break phone addiction, you don't just use your phone less. You become a different person. You become the type of person who can sit with discomfort and not run. You become the type of person who can focus long enough to build skills. You become the type of person who doesn't need constant entertainment to feel alive. You become calm. You become sharp. You become dangerous to distraction. Imagine your future self waking up and not checking notifications like a slave. Imagine sitting down to work and actually working. Imagine reading a book and finishing it. Imagine being with your family and hearing them. Really hearing them, without half your mind inside a screen. Imagine sleeping early, waking fresh, having energy, feeling proud. That's not fantasy. That's what happens when you stop donating your life to dopamine. And understand this, The world will always try to steal your attention. Ads, algorithms, drama, outrage, trends. The world is loud on purpose. A focused person is rare. A focused person is powerful. That's why breaking phone addiction is not a small self-improvement hack. It's a life decision. It's a rebellion. It's you saying, my time is mine, my mind is mine, my life is mine. So here's the philosophical closing thought. You don't become what you want. You become what you repeatedly give your attention to. If you give your attention to chaos, you become chaotic. If you give your attention to comparison, you become insecure. If you give your attention to entertainment all day, you become empty. But if you give your attention to growth, you become strong. If you give your attention to purpose, you become unstoppable. Your attention is your life in liquid form. Wherever it flows, your future grows. Now make this practical. Tonight, do the 5 steps. Understand the trap. Remove triggers. Replace the habit. Set boundaries. Train focus. Start small. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for control. When you slip, don't spiral. Returning is the skill. This is Inspire Path. If you're done being controlled by your phone, commit control and tell me the one boundary you're setting today. Like this video so it reaches someone stuck in the scroll trance. Share it with a friend who keeps saying I'm just bored while their future gets deleted. And subscribe, because on this channel we don't just get motivated, we get free.